Welcome back to True Crime Documentary YouTube channel. On a crisp autumn morning, the tranquil town of Willow Creek awoke to a nightmare. Nestled among vibrant maple trees and quiet streets, the town was known for its safety and charm. But that day, everything changed. Harold, an elderly man walking his dog, stumbled upon a horrifying sight in the woods behind the high school. At first, he thought it was a discarded mannequin beneath a pile of fallen leaves, but as he drew closer, he froze in terror. It was the lifeless body of 17-year-old Elena Rivera. Elena, a senior with a passion for art and dreams of attending a top design school, was beloved by her peers and teachers. Her brutal murder sent shockwaves through the community, shattering the peace that had defined Willow Creek for decades. As investigators arrived, whispers began to spread. Who could commit such a monstrous act? Elena Rivera was the kind of girl everyone admired. Her talent with a paintbrush was unmatched. She could bring life to a blank canvas with vivid colors and intricate details. Teachers often remarked that her work felt like it belonged in galleries, not just the walls of Willow Creek High. Beyond her art, Elena had a gentle, compassionate soul. She volunteered at the local animal shelter every weekend and tutored younger students struggling with math. Her dream was to escape the small-town life and attend the Rhode Island School of Design, a goal she pursued with unwavering determination. At home, Elena lived with her mother, Maria Rivera, and stepfather, Daniel Walsh. Maria, a hard-working nurse, adored her daughter and did everything to support her ambitions. However, the relationship between Elena and Daniel was strained. Daniel, a former military officer turned security consultant, was strict and often critical of Elena's artistic pursuits. While Maria tried to mediate, the tension in the house was palpable. Elena confided in her closest friend, Lila, that she felt suffocated by Daniel's constant scrutiny. Daniel wasn't the only figure in Elena's life drawing attention. There was also Mr. Ryan Carter, a charismatic 32-year-old English teacher at Willow Creek High. Students often described Mr. Carter as approachable and inspiring, someone who made even Shakespeare's densest works feel relatable. He had a way of connecting with students, and Elena was no exception. She often stayed after class to discuss literature and even sought his feedback on her poetry. To the outside world, it seemed like a harmless student-teacher bond, but not everyone saw it that way. Lila noticed how Elena's face lit up whenever Mr. Carter was around, and rumors began to swirl among students. Some said the two spent too much time alone, while others dismissed it as baseless gossip. Yet there were whispers among staff, too, though no one dared to confront the teacher directly. Meanwhile, Daniel became increasingly suspicious of Elena's behavior. He noticed her staying out later than usual, her phone buzzing with messages she refused to share, and the sudden secrecy that clouded their already rocky relationship. Maria dismissed his concerns as paranoia, but Daniel's unease grew. What neither of them realized was that beneath the surface, Elena was caught in a web of emotions she couldn't untangle. As these relationships simmered, the foundation of Elena's world began to crack. The tension at home, the whispers at school, and the hidden dynamics between her and Mr. Carter all built toward a boiling point, one that would ultimately lead to tragedy. The discovery of Elena Rivera's body sent shockwaves through Willow Creek. The crime scene, located in the wooded area behind the high school, was harrowing. Elena lay partially covered by leaves, her hands bruised and her neck bearing signs of strangulation. The once vivid light in her eyes had been extinguished by violence, and the serenity of her small-town world was shattered in an instant. Yellow tape surrounded the area as investigators and forensic teams meticulously combed through the scene for clues. Detective Allison Harper, a seasoned investigator with a reputation for solving even the most complex cases, was assigned to lead the investigation. She was known for her calm, methodical approach and her ability to pick up on the subtlest inconsistencies. As Harper studied the scene, she couldn't shake the sense that this crime was deeply personal. The level of force suggested rage, and the lack of significant defensive wounds indicated that Eleanor likely knew her killer. The investigation began with interviews. Eleanor's family was devastated. Maria Rivera sobbed as she clutched a framed photo of her daughter, while Daniel Walsh remained stoic but visibly tense. Harper immediately noted his rigidity and sharp tone when speaking about Eleanor. He admitted their relationship had been strained, mentioning that she had become secretive in recent months. However, he denied any involvement in her death. At school, whispers grew louder. Students speculated about what had happened, and Harper's team interviewed classmates and teachers. Lila, Eleanor's best friend, provided crucial information, hesitating as she recounted the heated argument they'd had shortly before Eleanor's death. Lila tearfully revealed her suspicion of a relationship between Eleanor and Mr. Carter, a revelation that sent the investigation in a startling direction. When questioned, Mr. Carter was cooperative but visibly nervous. He insisted that his relationship with Elena was purely professional, though Harper noted his discomfort when asked about their after-school meetings. A search of his home revealed a series of emails between him and Elena, coded exchanges that spoke of their hidden connection. While the emails didn't prove guilt, they painted a damning picture of a man who had crossed ethical boundaries. The autopsy report revealed a chilling detail. Elena had been strangled with a belt, and forensic analysis identified a faint trace of cologne on the fabric. Harper's team collected samples from all potential suspects, including Daniel, Mr. Carter, and a few other individuals in Elena's circle. While they waited for results, they unearthed more about Mr. Carter's past, a history of blurred boundaries with students that had previously gone unreported. Tensions in the town reached a boiling point. Parents demanded answers, teachers defended their colleague, and Maria pleaded for justice. Harper found herself in a race against time, piecing together fragments of Elena's life and unraveling the web of deceit surrounding her death. When the forensic results finally came in, they pointed to a shocking conclusion, but even that was just the beginning of the case's darkest revelations. The courtroom buzzed with tension as the trial of Ryan Carter began. The once respected English teacher now sat at the defendant's table, his hands clasped tightly, his face pale under the harsh courtroom lights. On the other side, Maria Rivera sat with her family, clutching a tissue and staring blankly at the proceedings. The small town of Willow Creek had never seen a trial of this magnitude, and the gallery was packed with reporters, townspeople, and Eleanor's classmates. The prosecution, led by Assistant District Attorney Claire Monroe, painted a grim picture of Mr. Carter's betrayal of trust. Monroe's opening statement was direct and emotional, emphasizing how Carter had manipulated Eleanor, exploited his position of power, and ultimately taken her life when their relationship began to unravel. She presented the damning evidence, the secret emails, testimony from Lila about Eleanor's distress, and forensic results linking the cologne found on the murder weapon to Carter. The defense, helmed by seasoned lawyer Patrick Reed, argued that while Carter's relationship with Elena was inappropriate, it didn't prove he was her killer. Reed suggested alternative suspects, focusing on Daniel Walsh's tense relationship with Elena and highlighting his military background, which included hand-to-hand combat training. He portrayed Carter as a flawed man caught in a scandal, but not a murderer. The most emotional moment came when Maria took the stand. Her voice broke as she described her daughter's dreams, her love for art, and the torment she endured after discovering Elena's hidden relationship. "She was just a child," Maria said, her voice trembling. "He stole her innocence and her future. The trial reached its climax with Carter's testimony. He admitted to the affair, but denied killing Eleanor. "I cared about her," he said, his voice shaking. "I would never hurt her." His words rang hollow to many in the courtroom, especially when Monroe cross-examined him, exposing inconsistencies in his timeline and behavior the night of the murder. As the case progressed, the tension in the courtroom grew unbearable. Witnesses were called, evidence scrutinized, and emotions ran high. But just as the prosecution seemed to solidify its case, an unexpected revelation would upend everything. As the trial neared its conclusion, the prosecution appeared to have an airtight case against Ryan Carter. The emails, the testimony, and the forensic evidence seemed to seal his fate. But just when it seemed the jury was ready to convict, Detective Allison Harper introduced a startling new lead. Harper had spent countless hours sifting through evidence, and something about Daniel Walsh's alibi nagged at her. While he claimed to have been at work the night Eleanor was murdered, his employer's records revealed an absence during a critical time window. Additionally, a neighbor came forward, reporting they had seen Daniel's truck near the woods late that evening. Harper obtained a warrant to search Daniel's vehicle and home, and what she found shifted the entire case. In Daniel's garage, she discovered a belt matching the description of the murder weapon. Forensic analysis revealed faint traces of Elena's DNA. Even more damning was a journal found in Daniel's study, containing unsettling entries about his frustration with Eleanor. Phrases like, "She's tearing this family apart," and "I'll do what's necessary to protect us," painted a chilling picture of his mindset. Back in court, the defense seized the opportunity to redirect suspicion. Patrick Reed presented the new evidence, arguing that Daniel's motives were stronger than Carter's. The courtroom was stunned as Harper took the stand to recount her findings. As she detailed the evidence against Daniel, Maria Rivera wept, torn between grief and disbelief. Daniel was called to testify. Under intense cross-examination, cracks began to appear in his composed demeanor. He denied harming Elena, but struggled to explain the belt and the journal. Finally, when Monroe presented the forensic results tying the belt to the crime, Daniel snapped. "She was destroying everything," he shouted. "She was ruining Maria, turning her against me with her lies and defiance. I just wanted it to stop." The courtroom fell silent as the weight of his words sank in. Daniel's outburst confirmed what the evidence had already suggested. He had killed Elena in a fit of rage, driven by his need for control and a twisted sense of familial duty. The jury deliberated for hours, but returned with a unanimous verdict. Ryan Carter was acquitted of murder, though his actions ensured his teaching career was over. Daniel Walsh was convicted of second-degree murder, his sentence bringing little solace to a devastated Maria and the shattered community. The verdict brought closure, but it was a hollow victory for the town of Willow Creek. Elena Rivera's murder had exposed the darkest undercurrents of the community, a place once thought to be untouched by such horrors. The courtroom's decision ensured justice for Eleanor, but the emotional scars left behind would linger for years. Maria Rivera was a shadow of her former self. Losing her daughter and learning of her husband's betrayal left her grappling with insurmountable grief. She moved away from Willow Creek, unable to bear the constant reminders of the life she had lost. Her parting words to the press echoed the pain of many. "No family should endure what we have. Protect your children. Listen to them. Pay attention to the signs." Ryan Carter, though acquitted of murder, was a pariah. His inappropriate relationship with Elena, while not criminally punishable, destroyed his career and reputation. He left town shortly after the trial, the whispers of his disgrace following him wherever he went. His actions served as a grim reminder of the power dynamics that can lead to manipulation and abuse. The town itself was irrevocably changed. The once vibrant community became quieter, its residents more guarded. Parents became overprotective, questioning every interaction their children had with authority figures. Elena's classmates honored her memory by organizing an annual art exhibition in her name, a bittersweet tribute to the dreams she never had the chance to fulfill. Detective Harper reflected on the case as one of the most challenging of her career. The layers of deceit, manipulation, and misplaced trust had created a labyrinth of pain. "This case is a grim reminder," she told reporters, "that the most dangerous predators often hide in plain sight, and even the smallest towns harbor secrets." Elena's story left an indelible mark, a chilling tale of trust betrayed, innocence lost, and a community forced to confront its darkest truths. As the leaves of Willow Creek continued to fall each autumn, they served as a quiet reminder of the girl whose light was extinguished too soon. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Be sure to check out our other videos for more captivating stories. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.